Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Skillstream. In today's video, we are going to learn about hierarchical inheritance in C++. We will see what exactly multiple inheritance is, its syntax, and we will solve a program. So let's get started. So, moving to the definition of hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance is nothing but a type of inheritance in which there is only one base class. That is, you will have only one parent class and will have multiple derived classes. In this image, you can see derived class 1, derived class 2. There can be more derived classes. That is nothing but these two derived classes are the child classes. Okay, now this hierarchical inheritance is exactly the opposite of multiple inheritance which we saw in the last video. Okay, so hierarchical inheritance is nothing but only one parent class and multiple derived classes, that are multiple child classes. Okay, so in the first image you can see we have two derived classes. In the second image you can see there are three derived classes. There can be more derived classes, more than 3, more than 4, but the thing is there has to be only one parent class and multiple derived classes. Okay, now we will see the syntax. So the syntax starts from the base class. So I have a class A in which we will write the data members and member functions of that class. So this class is nothing but base class. Okay, class B is your derived class. Okay, now for class B, that is a derived class, class A is a parent class. Okay, so class B colon public A. That means we are inheriting the properties of class A into class B publicly, which means from class A we can access all the data into class B as because we have declared it as public. Okay, now here goes class C. Again, this is a derived class, right? Again, for class C, public A is a parent class. So all the members of A we can access publicly without any restrictions in class B as well as in class C. Okay, so if we have one more class, that is class D again is a derived class. So for class D, again A is a parent class. So with the help of this syntax, can you people visualize the diagram of it? I will help you. Okay, so class A is a base class, class B is a derived class, class C again is a derived class, and class D again is a derived class. Okay, so this is the syntax for hierarchical inheritance, which means class A features we are inheriting in all these three derived classes. Got it? Now, moving on to the example, I hope you people have understood the syntax. We'll move on to the example. So we have two questions over here. So we will solve the first one. The second one is for you. Now, I have a base class employee, derived class programmer, derived class manager. So as you can see in this image, each class have its own data as well as. Now what we need to do is we need to create employee base class, we need to create programmer derived class, we need to create manager derived class. Okay, now all the data members are given for each classes. We can assume any data member function which we want. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to accept the data of these two derived classes and display. From this image you can make out programmer and manager are of which type? They are the employees, right? Now in inheritance we create object of derived class only. You need to remember it. We don't create object of base class. We create object of derived classes. So in this we have two derived classes. We will create two objects. Okay. Now moving to the execution of code. I will be using my code block for executing. We have a base class employee with data member given to us int emp code, okay, character emp name. Now for taking users input, I am declaring a member function void get data. Cout, when we are talking about taking users input, cout and cin, these both statements come together. Enter the employee code and employee name. Then cin emp code emp name. Okay, the thing to remember here is the way I am giving the message, enter the employee code. So for that particular variable name should come first in cin and then employee name and then the second variable name. If I am using enter the employee name and employee code, so there has to be first employee name and then employee code. So we just have to see the sequence in which we are giving the message. Fine, else it will flash an error message. Cool. Now void put data, I need to display this. So put data specifically is meant for displaying. So we will just have cout statements, only cout statements. Okay, employee code, in which variable we are storing it, emp code. Cout employee name, we have used emp name variable. Okay, now we are done with writing the code for the base class. It's now time to write the code for derived class. Class, we will just see the program, programmer and manager. Okay, instead of this, both are same employee ID, employee code, I have taken EMP name, programmer and manager, skill and department. Okay, programmer colon public, employee is the base class. Now character, skill, void get data 1, so as because we are taking users input, we will write cout and scene statement together. Cout, enter the skill. Cin, what is the name of variable? Skill. Okay, close get data, then void put data 1, public colon character department. Void get data 2, cout, now for put data we will write cout skill. Now we are done with the first derived class. Next is class manager colon public employee curly bracket open close character department and your data 2, cout, enter the department colon cin department. Okay, close the get data. Now write void put data 2. So put data is for displaying, so we will just include cout statements. Department. Okay, now check all the curly bracket open close, else it will flash so many errors. Just check it once. Okay, now void main or int main. Now we have two derived classes, right? Programmer and manager. So we will create object for programmer P colon. Now with help of this P, we will call the get data of base class. Okay, get data of its own class, and then we will call put data of base class and put data of its own class, right? Then the second class is a manager class. Create object class name comma object name. Object name you can give any name. Then m dot get data, then m dot get data 2, that is the get data of manager class, m dot put data of base class employee, then next m dot put data 2, that is the member function of its own class. Now we will see the output. Okay, now with this you can see the output. Enter the employee code and employee name. So I have given the output. Enter this skill. So you can see the cout statements for employee as well as the cout statement for skill, that is Python. Now with the help of manager object, we are calling the get data of base class employee and get data of derived class manager. Now enter the department computer. I have entered the details, and then employee code, employee name, and the department. So this is hierarchical inheritance, in which we are reusing the code of base class into derived class, right? So from base class we are taking employee code and employee name, and we are using in the two derived classes, programmer and manager. We don't have to rewrite the same code. Enter employee code, enter the employee name, right? I'm just taking the code from a base class and using it in the derived class. So that was hierarchical inheritance. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.